Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the show, the Chad Prather Show. What day is it, man? It is Thursday, isn't it? Okay, I got to go. Not now, but tomorrow. I got to go to Fort Worth because we're going to be at Hyenas Comedy Club in Fort Worth, Texas, right downtown tomorrow night and Saturday night. So all weekend long. Next weekend, Oklahoma City. Then lots of other things going on. Oh, man, watchchad.com for all the fun stuff is. Let me tell you a cool thing we just did. I had my buddy Brent that works on my website. If you go to watchchad.com and you click on the menu and it comes down to podcast, the podcast little category in the menu, if you click it, guess what you can do now? Guess what you can do right at the top? You can listen to the podcast. All of the podcasts are right there. There's a list of them you can scroll through, but the newest will be right there at the top, auto-populated, and it doesn't matter if you're on Apple. It doesn't matter if you're on Spotify, iHeart, whatever. There it is. Bam, bam, bam. You could see the top one. And then if you scroll on down on that page, you can see all the different platforms that are on there. So if you want to watch it on Rumble, or if you want to listen to it on Apple or Spotify or iHeart, or you want to watch it on YouTube, all the different things are there. So there you go. What I want to ask you to start doing is, I know a lot of us are accustomed to YouTube, but I want to show Rumble some love. I really want to start migrating more things over to Rumble. I'm in talks with them, in conversations with them, that we can just do more stuff over there. We are already sharing the show over there on some other channels and getting huge views, 60, 70,000 views an episode. So I'm excited about what Rumble has to offer over there. And it's so much kinder to free speech. I just got off a plane. I look amazing for just getting off a plane and getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning in Washington, D.C., don't I? Ooh, boy, I was like Jet Magazine right there. I was on Tim Pool's show, Timcast IRL, last night. We had a blast. Tim Pool doesn't necessarily live on the same planet the rest of us do. He's an odd, eccentric dude, but man, he's got the biggest podcast in the world. And I had a blast there in his new studios, new to me anyway. So I love watching people succeed. And I love seeing their voices be amplified. Today, I want to talk about these cabinet picks. These cabinet picks are driving people absolutely wild. I just got a message from my friend and my therapist. Yeah, I said it, my therapist, Trevor Wilkins. If you're following on Instagram, you can head over and see the Viking therapist. He is my therapist, and he said, I am almost ashamed right now to be in the therapy world because they've lost their mind. He said, I'm almost embarrassed to be one. He's got a message from a message board, said, hi folks, does anyone know of any financial resources for trans folks potentially looking to leave the state due to feeling unsafe or have familiarity with trans-affirming workspaces? Any insight resources would be much appreciated. I've had a hard time finding concrete resources for folks, and I'm hoping they exist. So they're literally trying to help people. Okay, I got a good friend of mine in Georgia who sent me a message today who said that she has a friend who is a DACA. She's scared to death of being deported, and she told me about the job she worked. It's a labor job and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, everybody needs to take a big old fat chill pill. And remember, Donald Trump, he doesn't hate gay people. He doesn't hate trans people. He's not coming after you. And even people who are here in the country illegal, I promise you, people who are here in the country illegally, however you want to define that, the people who are being industrious, working hard, holding down jobs, I just don't think the police are going to come be knocking on the door and trying to, root people out. He's going after the criminal element. He really is going after the criminal element. You're going to see this is going to be a thing where the people who are here who shouldn't be here, these mass invasion border crossings that have happened in the last 3 years, 3.5 years under the Biden administration, the guys who are here, the ones that are sitting on a street in New York, that are occupying hotels, that are occupying homeless shelters, the ones who are, vagrants and transients on the street with no purpose in being there. And again, the Transdaragua, the Venezuelan gangs, these are the people we're talking about, MS-13. The folks who are here, whether they're, doing violent things, running drugs, bringing fentanyl across, trafficking human beings, that's what we're talking about. Those are the people we're talking about. We're not, we're not talking about going out and rounding up people. You're just going to have to see. You're going to have to see. I will tell you this, if you're in the country illegally, let me just be real blunt and poke through the smoke, because I know even what I'm saying right now isn't popular with a lot of people. because a lot of people are saying, no, we got to round them all up and get them all out. Listen, we still have empathy, okay? I am convinced that 90% of the people who have crossed our southern border did so for good reasons. They came here looking for a better life. They came here, I know, because I've talked to a number of them. I've interviewed them in Mexico. I've interviewed them in the in other countries, Honduras, Nicaragua, Guatemala. My friend Larry Taunton right now is in Cartagena. He's talking to those people who are coming across various borders trying to get to the United States because they want a better life. They don't actually want to live in America. They want to come and provide for themselves so they can go back into these places like Venezuela, like Colombia, these places where they've lost their life and their livelihoods. They want to go back home. And so, but there are people who are here for the right reason. But this is still a humanitarian crisis. This is something in which we have empathy for. But this false sense of fear, you know what fear is? It's false evidence appearing real. This false sense of fear that so many people are operating under, it's driving people mad. We talked about this on the show the other day. The media and so many of the influential people out there who have a voice and a platform have put the sound bites out that are absolutely scaring people to death. They're scaring people to death. They're driving people to do some crazy stuff. Yes, we can sit there and watch the people who are in their cars screaming at the sky and crying and making fools out of themselves. Those people, that's mental illness that in some ways my dark humor is a fun thing to make fun of. But there are people out there who are worried, who are afraid, and they're seeing every move that Donald Trump and this new administration is making, and they're doing nothing but pumping fear into our society and our culture when they interpret what's going on wrongly. And I wish we could make it stop. But again, folks, we're breathing for the first time an air of freedom and liberty that we haven't had in the last few years. And I'm excited about it. And if people will get on board with that, I promise you, just like Trump said the other day in a speech, he said, listen, we want people to come to this country, but we want them to come legally. We want them to be here legally. We want to make it so that we can work things out so that they, even if they have to deal with the legal ramifications of why they're here, we can still make it easier for them to be in this country. He said that just the other day. So again, guys, we got to stop listening to the misinterpretive sound bites that are just inflaming people with fear. Anyway, I tell you, man, it's a crazy world we're living in, just insane. But I'm excited as an American citizen because at the end of the day, I'm an American citizen. I'm going to stand first and foremost for America. I'm going to stand first and foremost for the American citizen. And again, it's not my place to try to defend and protect and put at ease people who have a mental illness, or even people who are here illegally, or anything else, or people who are on the other side of the aisle who just refuse to make peace and come across and find a place of negotiation and discussion where we can move forward. At the end of the day, if you're not going to do it, you're not going to do it. And we got to put America first, and we got to take care of American citizens first, and that's where I stand on all of that stuff. But I do have compassion. That's all I want to say. I do have compassion. So get in with this train, man. Get in with the momentum. Get in with this party, because freedom, she is a coming, man. And there's going to be some justice. There's going to be some heads that are going to roll at the top. There's going to be some bureaucratic reckonings that are going to happen, and I love to see it. I have enjoyed watching some of the meltdowns on the part of Congress members and senators and media members in these last couple of days, because they're absolutely shitting their pants at this point, and they should. You know, when Adam Schiff is so worried about Matt Gaetz' appointment as Attorney General, and he's like, oh, this can't happen, I'll stand in the way of it. And I was like, well, you know what, Adam, you shouldn't have lied. You should not have lied, because you said that you had unequivocal, undeniable proof that Donald Trump colluded with Russia. You lied. You absolutely lied about it. Oh, you lied. And so you know what? You're going to be held accountable. And I truly believe that's what's going to happen. We're going to talk about these picks. We're going to talk about a lot more of the meltdowns as we get into this. Thank you for joining us. Make sure that you hit that like button. If you've never subscribed on YouTube or on Rumble, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, then hit that notification bell, which is probably useless. It probably won't do a single thing to tell you when we go live. But we're live today, and I don't know what our live schedule is going to be. We really are trying to get stuff out there, whether live or pre-recorded, each and every day. And I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to try to throw it out there about 1 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Eastern, every day of the week. But we're working on that. We're working on that. I will tell you that I will be fishing on Monday, so we'll see if I get anything pre-recorded. Priorities. All right, let's bring on to the studio stage America's favorite producer, Royce Chamberlain. Royce, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I don't know if that rant made any sense or not. I don't know. Like I
always enjoy your rants. I think they're fun.
I have compassion for these people, but at the end of the day, you made your bed. You have to lie in it. But the average person who's in this country who's just sitting there wallowing in fear, like somebody that came across the border and they got a job and they're working their butts off and they've done all the things that they know to do since they've been in this country. I just don't think that that's who the Trump administration is going after. I think it's the criminal element first. I think it's the transients. It's the people that are, I won't rehash the rant, but what are your thoughts on that? Have you given that any thought? Have you seen people that are like living in fear?
A little bit, but I agree with you. I think he's going after the actual criminals first, but there is a place for the people who, hey, if we found that you came over here illegally, you got to get this situated. You can't just stay here. You got to get it figured out. But it's the people, I don't know if you just saw, I think it was New York Post that shared it this morning. $31 million worth of meth was carried over from Mexico, disguised as peppers. Disguised as peppers. Okay, so we've got terrorists coming in, we've got meth and fentanyl coming in. That is the issue. It's not just the fact that you're here illegally, where that's still a problem because hence the word illegal, right? It's wrong. But more so, it's what you're doing to this country and the threat that you bring, not only to like the health and safety of the American citizens, but also just like what we have set up here. Like you're tearing it apart. You're being used as a tool to try and take over elections. It's that kind of stuff that we can't have. If you want to come over legally, that's fine. If you're here illegally, get it worked out. But if you're one of those people who are like smuggling over $31 million worth of meth and fentanyl, and you're that's a lot of meth disguised as peppers, not really well disguised either. It didn't look like peppers at all. I gotta look. But if you're one of those, then yeah, we're gonna kick your butt out of here, man, because you're not gonna come here and do that to us.
Do you have a picture of those peppers?
I can find it. I can find it. 100%.
If you can pull that thing up, I want to see it, because like if you were stuffing peppers, that's a different kind of barbecue.
Dude,
right,
you're gonna like if you're crack up when you see this.
If you're stuffing peppers with meth, that is that barbecue could get out of hand real fast, bro. Like that's beyond mariachi right there.
Look at this.
Oh, did they shape them like a pepper?
$31 million worth of meth hidden in a shipment of peppers at Texas border. Okay, this is what they were hidden with, right? Normal green peppers, and it's like these bags, green bags. They don't look anything like peppers, and this is what they found. Look at this.
I mean, I'm laughing because you gotta hand them the ingenuity of just saying we're gonna shove these bags of meth. These green bags of meth in with our bell peppers or our jalapenos or our hatch chilies, whatever they may be. I can't really tell. This looks like some big old fat peppers, man.
Yeah, man.
You don't want to take a bite into that. Yeah, that's a whole different capsaicin level right there. That's off the chart.
A bite of meth. Could you imagine?
Oh,
jeez.
No, I can't. I will confess that years and years ago, and this is going to sound funny, nobody's going to believe me when I say it, I accidentally ingested some of that stuff.
No way.
I did.
How do you wait, hold back. How do you accidentally ingest meth?
With your nose.
Is it an accident at that point? What are you talking about?
It was supposed to be something else. I don't know. I'm just saying. It was supposed to be something else. It was just supposed to be something else. And you feel very loving. And then you wind up in the hospital. Okay. This was a long time ago. This was a whole. You notice how my natural reaction, my old subconscious mind kicks in, and I go, yeah. It was a long time ago. Long time ago.
You're like, whoa.
It was a long time ago, Royce. It was another man, another life.
The old Chad.
It was a whole other deal. But yeah, you don't want to take a bite out of meth. I can tell you that. Don't want to take a bite out of meth. So Donald Trump met with Joe Biden. He went to the White House. It was his first time back since he left. And that was the happiest I've seen Joe Biden. Joe was next level. Is that a video?
This is a video of them meeting, yeah.
Play that clip real quick. We've all seen it, but let's play it.
Well, Mr. President-elect and former President, thank you. Donald, congratulations. Thank you. And looking forward to having like we said, smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So
good.
Welcome
Thank
back.
you. And, thank you very much. And politics is tough, and it's in many cases not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate it very much. And a transition that's so smooth, it'll be as smooth as it can get, and I very much appreciate that, Jim.
You're welcome.
They are both so awkward.
Very.
They just are so awkward. But I gotta say, that fire is fire, dude.
It is roaring, right?
There is somebody. I mean, that's a hot fire going back there. Like somebody knows how to build a freaking fire for television. I mean, that sucker was roaring, bro. I mean, that thing was cooking in DC. So I landed in DC just before this meeting happened. It was chilly. It was about 40 degrees. That is not a fire required for 40 degrees. That is, I mean, these two old guys have bad circulation. All right. If they're needing that kind of, I mean, they're that close to the infernos of hell, bro.
It sounds like the fire is about to take off and fly away. Like it sounds like a jet, like warming up, you know, it's like building. It's pretty, it looks intense.
I've watched that clip now probably 25 times, and most of it I'm focused on that freaking fire. Like I'm like thinking about my own fire building skills. I'm looking at the way they stack the kindling and the logs, and I'm like, they really put this freaking fire together. It is so contained, like it is just a column of wood. I'm like, wow.
It really is, yeah.
Mine would be falling apart. There'd be ashes and embers. Look at that thing. That's an impressive freaking fire, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. No, but I wanted to ask you, actually. I wanted to get, because I've asked a few people. I want to get your opinion on this handshake, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw
what
your...
What do you think of the pointer turn in?
I saw your... so your question, I think, if I can read between it, because I saw your Twitter or your X post.
Yeah.
Where it's sort of like a little Masonic thing going on there. It might be a little secret shake happening.
Something interesting, yeah.
Something between presidents. It is a kind of a third eye thing. It is the Washington Monument phallic symbol, which is also, yeah. It's amazing how many phallic symbols there are in our country. Between the, I mean, the national
Disney mainly. Disney has most of them.
Yeah, they do. But the Washington Monument is a big penis. I mean, it's a big Masonic penis. And anybody that wants to deny that just needs to do their research.
No, don't do your research. What are you talking about?
It is a George Washington was a Freemason. Many of our founding fathers were. The Washington Monument is a phallic symbol. Any one of those little deals like that, it's a phallus. So anyway, we won't get into that. But yeah, I saw that. I thought it was kind of interesting. It's like a little agreement between presidents. Something's being communicated there. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they teach you something. You know, so it's the secret way of saying, hey, I got your back. Even though we've opposed one another, we're in this thing together, and we're not going to talk about the aliens yet. But it seems like they're communicating something there. It's an interesting deal. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, look at Trump's face.
Like that.
Serious, and then Biden's just straight confused, like he knows what the handshake means, maybe, and he's like, "Oh crap!"
Yeah,
he just pulled that one on me.
Now I said on X, and I think I shared it over to Instagram. I said that Biden was so happy, like he was the happiest I'd seen him ever. And Biden just seems like a happier cat since the election is over, or really since he got out of the race. I mean, this guy, look at that guy. I don't know which version
Cheek
of
to
Biden that
cheek.
is, but wow. I mean, that is some creepy, dark pupils, hardcore Joker smiling there. And I
Yeah,
thought maybe,
actually.
maybe had Trump called him up and they made a deal. And I don't want to say that maybe he said, okay, we're going to take care of Hunter. We'll make sure he gets pardoned or whatever. But you got to make that. I don't know. I just sort of feel, and I hope that didn't happen, because I think Hunter needs to stand on his own merits, because the charge against Hunter was you can't be on drugs or in possession of drugs. You can't be chewing on the Mexican peppers, right? And fill out a federal form and say that you don't, do narcotics while buying a gun, because I have to fill that form out and I get in trouble if I'm lying about that. So Hunter needs to stand on his own merit too in the courts. So I hope they didn't do that. But I just feel like Trump made some kind of deal a while back, and maybe that's why Jill wasn't that happy. Look at that picture there. Jill was not that happy when Kamala sat down next to her at the Veterans Day deal.
Yeah, wouldn't look at her.
I mean, this is one big happy family now. And Donnie T, he's hanging out. He's looking all orange. And Joe's happy. It's a beautiful day there in a nation's capital. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think that something happened. You can't convince me. I'd bet $1,000 right now if we could know that those two people right there voted for Donald Trump. I just believe they did. I just don't believe they voted
I
for,
firmly believe as well. I do actually.
I don't believe they
Same.
voted for Kamala Harris. I think they rooted the old man out. I think they dogpiled him. I think they trashed him. I think they pooped on him. And I think they know that. I think Jill is holding a grudge. I think one of these days, wouldn't it be interesting? Wouldn't it be interesting? It'll never happen, but wouldn't it be interesting if Donnie T gave old Joe some kind of an appointment, like a little retirement appointment in the administration?
That would be the most. Okay, everyone says that the appointments right now are shocking.
Yeah.
That would be the most shocking thing. Oh, Donald Trump here. We're gonna elect. We're gonna appoint. Well, I don't even know what he would be. Joe Biden.
We're gonna put Joe. The Office of Geriatrics. The office.
Office of Geriatrics.
United States Department of Geriatrics. I don't know, but I don't know, but it would be the ultimate troll. Now, speaking of trolls, this
Department of Dementia.
This appointment of Matt Gaetz. They appointed Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth gets the appointment to be the Secretary of Defense. I thought it was great. I know Pete. I think Pete is great. Pete's a smart guy. They melted down. They said, Joy Reid said, they got the morning host of Fox News to be the Secretary of Defense. Pete Hegseth is far deeper than that. But then within 24 hours, he says, Matt Gaetz of Florida, hereby nominated to be the Attorney General. I tweeted immediately when I saw it from a hotel room in Washington, D.C. yesterday. I said, well, they won't be talking about Pete Hegseth anymore. Matt Gaetz has dominated the news. And let me clarify for those of you who I think everybody's probably pretty well informed at this point. I thought it was a huge move that old Matt went ahead. And I know Matt, too. Matt's an interesting cat. I thought it was an interesting move that Matt went ahead and resigned from Congress. A lot of people said, it's too soon. He jumped the gun. He's waiting on confirmation. Okay, let me give you just a brief explanation of how these things work. First of all, he had to do it. It's like he told Speaker Mike Johnson. He said, I can't miss that many days from Congress to be able to do all this stuff. So they need to go ahead and fill that role. Mike Johnson said they'll probably be able to get that role filled by January 3rd. It's a Florida appointment on the part of Republican, very conservative Governor Ron DeSantis, which means they would be able to fill that role by appointment with somebody else who's a Republican / conservative at Ron DeSantis' choosing. Also, Marco Rubio they have named as the Secretary of State, which means that Senate seat is opened up. So if worst case scenario happened and that appointment didn't happen, they could put Matt Gaetz in that Senate seat instead of Marco Rubio, and he would be the next senator from the great state of Florida. So there's a
Interesting.
lot of moves that they could make that people don't realize that a lot of these things can happen. I promise you, Matt Gaetz didn't just say, "Oh my God, they nominated me for the attorney general. I'm just going to quit today." That's not. I promise you, they're far more deliberate in the things that they're doing and the decisions they're making. So Thomas Massey, they caught up with him. He was going up the escalator there, and they were like, "What do you think about that?" He turned around and said, "Hey, suck it up. Basically, deal with it. It'll be a recess appointment because." If Mike Johnson doesn't call for a recess, Donald Trump can call for a recess of the Senate and the Congress, and they automatically get placed in there. So let you guys do your own little constitutional research on how those things can happen. But he said he's the secretary, he's the attorney general. Suck it up, deal with it. Now Matt Gaetz is an interesting pick. Well, let's play the video first of all. This is Matt Gaetz is abrasive. He's got that punchable face. I mean, look at that hair. I mean, I can't confirm this. Somebody else may be able to confirm it. But yesterday I was watching when Trump landed back in West Palm Beach, Florida. When Trump Force One was on the tarmac, I was watching them deplane Trump Force One. And from a far off distance, it looked to me like when Trump exited that Elon Musk was right behind him. And a few seconds after that, I could just see the silhouette of Matt Gaetz's giant spoon-shaped head coming down. So it looked to me like Matt Gaetz also had been on Trump Force One. But a lot of people don't like Matt Gaetz because Matt Gaetz says things like this. Go.
Is it safe to say that based off of your comments, you're suggesting that these women at these abortion rallies are ugly and overweight?
Yes.
What do you say to people who think that those comments are offensive?
Be offended.
Is it safe to
Be offended.
Be offended. Be offended.
It's cool. It's actually amazing, though. It's pretty. I don't know how. This isn't recent. I don't know how I've not seen this before.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't see it until recently. I'd never seen this.
Well, then there's that big chunky girl who, Olivia Giuliana, she tweeted, she said, "I was a teenage girl when Matt Gaetz decided it was appropriate to body shame and belittle me as a sitting member of Congress. He was, she wasn't. And now I get to sit and watch him be nominated as Attorney General of the United States. Absolutely shameful." And then at Mostly Peaceful Memes said he probably didn't want to sugarcoat it because you would have eaten that too.
It's perfect.
Oh, my dark humor. Listen, Matt Gaetz, he doesn't pull any punches, but here's the thing. He has a vendetta when it comes to the Department of Justice. They've done everything they could to set him up as a child predator, as a human trafficker. He's not those things. But when you have a Department of Justice that was weaponized to go against their political enemies, and that's what they did, with the worst of accusations like that, I say, Katie, bar the door. Like, it is free game on corruption at this point. Let's get it on. Adam Schiff, as I alluded to earlier, Adam Schiff said, "Oh, well, it's not going to happen." And I'm like, well, listen, Shifty Schiff, I think it's coming your way, brother. I think your pencil neck is going to be, your head's going to roll, dude, and that pencil neck is going to get cut. So I think he's going to clean house, and it's going to be interesting to watch Geraldo Rivera. Geraldo's mentally ill, dude. I'm convinced. Here's what he tweeted out. He said this. He said that he threw up after hearing Matt Gaetz was Trump's AG pick. That's according to the New York Post. Said he threw up. Hey, can anybody be more dramatic? Well, they can be because I've seen Whoopi Goldberg and Don Lemon. But Geraldo Rivera is about as dramatic as it gets of just this, really in touch with his estrogen. You're just really deep in it.
Spot on.
But he threw up after hearing Matt Gaetz was trying. These people just say whatever. And I mean, it's the epitome of weakness in these responses, which is amazing to me. But Matt Gaetz, I mean, I'm telling you, it wasn't on my bingo card. I was hoping for Ken Paxton of Texas. My first thought was when they said Matt Gaetz was nominated, I said, okay, I see what Trump's doing. Trump is going to throw out the most ludicrous pick, and when he doesn't get the confirmation, then he'll follow it up with the person he really wants, and that person will seem sane by comparison. Not to say that Matt Gaetz is insane. Matt Gaetz is just not, he's just not the guy that's going to, again, he's not going to sugarcoat anything, right? So
Yeah, but could you, I mean, let's say Kamala won and she was appointing people. Could you name one person that would make you projectile vomit when you found it out? Like how it's so, they're notorious for being dramatic, right? And what I've noticed actually is, yes, we're seeing a lot of reaction from all this stuff, not just the Trump win, but all the appointments from the libs, people screaming at their phones, people leaving Twitter, people claiming that they're vomiting at the sound of Matt Gaetz being Attorney General. But what I'm not seeing really is more like liberal politicians giving many reactions. Because what we had seen for the past 8 years really is liberals would do something, conservatives would respond. Conservatives would do something, liberals would respond. But now the liberals know that they're screwed because of everything that they've done over the past 4 years. Now conservatives are making these picks, these bold moves, and the only people you're hearing from is the people that the libs brainwashed, not them. I've not heard anything from Gavin Newsom, or Kamala Harris hasn't said anything. They're scared. They're pulling back, right? Because they're just trying to stay out of it. Maybe they'll forget that we gave the dude a mugshot and raided Mar-a-Lago and shot him in the ear. Yeah. You know, maybe they'll forget if we just stay quiet. No, I think they're kind of cowering.
They are cowering. They're in a panic meltdown mode. I've seen that from the reactions. If they have something to hide, they really are kind of being demure. That's their word. They're being demure. Mindful in these moments about what they say. But you make a very good point. It's one that I said in another way. I said it less eloquently on Tim Pool's Overtime last night, where I said, isn't it interesting that all these people who are melting down, that the powers that be, whether it's the deep state players or these, are being quiet through all of this stuff. So I know that the screaming Mimi Riris are out shouting in the street, and they're lined up by the thousands planning their parades and their protests between now and the 20th of January, which is Inauguration Day. I know they're doing those things, but the deep state heads, they're calm, man. And it's weird. It's like, these guys, they're almost too quiet about this stuff. But in terms of reactions, John Fetterman, the senator from the great state of Pennsylvania, is there anybody that, like, you've really I've done a real 180 on Fetterman. I don't agree with his politics, but like this guy was like, oh, I loved to make fun of this lurch-looking Uncle Fester dude. But he went in and got a lobotomy or a little piece of his cerebral cortex cut out, and he came out a little more commonsensical and even sometimes conservative. Here's what he had to say about Trump picking Matt Gaetz. Play that.
I mean, I would describe it as God tier level trolling to just trigger a full-on China syndrome to own the libs in perpetuity. I mean,
is it just me, or does it look like he's reading something too? Like he had his response scripted, and God tier level trolling was on it.
Yeah, God tier level trolling. To own the libs from now until perpetuity. Those are big words for Johnny Fetterman. Those are big words for Johnny Fett. But yeah, it is some major trolling. And I think they also feel like they have some semblance of control because he has to go through some confirmation process. But they forget that the Senate is Republican now. And yes, we made the Senate Majority Leader John Thune. Wasn't my pick. I thought Rick Scott should have been the guy, but John Thune was the guy. John Thune said that he is going to completely support and back Trump's policies and agenda. We'll see about that. I've made a commitment. Tim Pool made a commitment. So many different guys out there with any kind of reach, because this is the podcast presidency. That's what they're calling this. This is the podcast presidency. Mainstream media did not have the say in the outcome of this election. CNN is firing everybody. They can't afford it anymore. MSNBC, they're putting coverage out there that's only getting like 62,000 viewers at some points in time. So I mean, they like we had 62,000 people in the live chat last night, live for Tim Pool. And I mean, the millions of people that are watching podcasts, listening to Rogan, all of these different, Charlie Kirk, Glenn Beck, Ben Shapiro, Graham Allen. I mean, all these people that are listening to these different guys out there, Dan Bongino, the list goes on and on. Jack Posobiec. It's the podcast presidency. So my point is, these conservatives, they better support Trump or we will primary them. We will primary them because we hired Trump. Trump was the guy we put back in office. We want him to bulldog this thing. And I mean, bulldog it. I want him to go after it like a pit bull that just tasted chicken blood for the first time. I want a Carthaginian peace. When the people of Carthage destroyed another country, they went in and they plowed up their fields and poured salt in the dirt so that nothing would ever grow there again. This gender modification in children, CRT in schools, socialism, Marxism, communism, all this crap parading around with DEI hires, dudes getting in the pool with girls, taking showers in women's bathrooms, all this crap that we've seen, the Tren de Aragua, the violence against our citizens on the part of illegals that have come across, the cartels, the fentanyl, the 148,000 deaths that have been caused by fentanyl. I don't want that growing in my country. I don't want any of that. The lack of trust in our institutions, whether it's the courts or elections or our schools or the media, I want it all rooted out. I want it dug up. I want salt poured on it so nothing of that sort ever grows here ever again. No Marxism, no socialism, no communism, no whatever. I was gonna say some words, but none of that, none of that in our country, none of it. I want it rooted out. If it takes the Matt Gaetz of the world, if it takes the Pete Hegseth, if it takes the Tulsi Gabbards, I mean, I can't believe the meltdown that people are having over Tulsi Gabbard. Now, I like a new convert. I like somebody that just found Jesus because they're fired up. I like somebody that, that just lost a whole bunch of weight. Or, you get around somebody that does CrossFit or keto or carnivore or discovered some new diet that works for them. They want to talk about it, right? Because they're converts to this thing. They finally found something that works. Tulsi Gabbard, she discovered that liberal progressivism was not working. It wasn't working. Even Bernie Sanders, who she supported and was going to be his running mate, Bernie lost his way in regards to that. And she discovered conservatism and she came over and declared that she's a Republican. She is a whatever. She's a freak on fire. And they say, oh, she was a Russian asset. According to who? According to Hillary Clinton, the same person that created and paid for the Steele dossier, who came up with the Russian collusion hoax. She came up, Moo Clinton came up with this idea and accused Tulsi Gabbard of being a Russian asset. And it's like, no, she's not. No, she absolutely is not. You're talking about someone that served in our military, somebody that had security clearance, somebody that was in the House. I mean, come on with this stuff. She's representative from Hawaii, for crying out loud. I don't know if you saw that video of that goofy kid who said, I'm leaving the country. I'm moving to Hawaii.
No, I did see that.
Idiots. I got to drink something. I'm coughing, dude. All dried out from the airplane. This is what happens when I quit drinking tequila. I get dried out. But no, they're losing their minds over these people. I want those people to go in there and do their job. But the Steve Bannons of the world, I mean, these big voices out there, they're not going to let these Republicans survive in the Senate. They got about 18 months. They got about 18 months to get this job done, because then we're into election season again for for midterms elections, and it'll be time for those seats to start changing. So we got a little bit of time. We got a little window to let people taste freedom and success and a little affluence out there. I think butter's already come down $1.50. I mean, start going to your grocery store and looking around. Land O'Lakes butter. We pulled it up last night on Tim's show. It's already come down $1.50 up there where they live. So pay attention, folks. It's going to be good. The dollar is already increasing in value. I don't know if you guys are watching the Bitcoin stuff. Bitcoin, Ethereum, even Doge. I mean, I can't give investment advice, but I'm just saying he named Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk to the Department of Government Efficiency, which is Doge. Dogecoin is starting to move a little bit, and that's Elon's baby. So I'm not telling you what to do, but if you're into crypto, you may take a little look. I mean, Bitcoin hit 93,000 yesterday, $93,000 a share. I mean, I like it when I open up, my Coinbase or my whatever, Robinhood, and see what my crypto's doing. It's like, dang, all right, I'm just going to sit back and keep watching. So just pay attention, folks. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. We're heading into some good things. Joy Reid, she said she's leaving Twitter. You got that clip? There's a number of folks that announced their departure. You don't have to, but they did. Let's see what Joy had to say.
Hey guys, so today I finally did something I've been meaning to do for a while.
Made a video for it. Your account.
And the reason for doing it, and kissing goodbye my 1.9 million followers over there, is because I hadn't been posting for a long time. I just didn't want to contribute content once it was purchased by its present owner. But just having it there, I was only holding on to it because I, really didn't want someone trying to take over that name and using it for nefarious purposes. I was a little bit worried about that. And also every so often I would use it to just sort of look at news that was trending and what's happening. And I would just sort of use it as an aggregator. But I just realized that's not really worth it, because in order to do the news aggregation and just look at all, you have to wade through a lot of dreck and a lot of just abuse and a lot of just negativity. And it's just not worth it. And, hey guys, so today I finally did something I've been meaning.
Nobody cares, Joy. Nobody cares. That you deleted your account. But I mean, she made a whole little CapCut video. I mean, whatever. I mean, you can't look up 1.9 million people following Joy Reid. That's amazing to me. I mean, and here I'm struggling along with my mere 515,000. Oh, quality people, and just, I love my bots. 1.9 million people were following this trash. But then Don Lemon, he did the same thing. He went on, and not only that, he created a written statement of how he was going to, see if you could pull that up. He put out a written statement. Who in the abject hell does a written statement about leaving a social media platform? Are you kidding me? I literally took a picture on my phone of just a black space, and I was going to use my finger to say, here's my statement for Don Lemon, GTFO. Just get out. Nobody cares, bro. Just leave. Not a bus station. Nobody has to announce the departure or anything else. But he not only did a video about leaving, and let me just tell you something about Don Lemon. And Joy Reid, too. They are attention whores, and they will be back. I know you don't care. I know the folks listening to this, that you don't care that they're going to be back, but this is all smoke and mirrors. They're coming right back, probably in less than a week. There it is. I'm going to get out of focus here for a second, but I got to look at this thing. I've loved connecting with you on X, but I have to leave the platform. I once believed it was a place for honest debate and discussion, transparency, and free speech, but now I feel it does not serve that purpose. In addition, starting this Friday, November 15th, X is implementing new terms of service, which, among other things, states that all disputes be brought exclusively in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Texas or state courts located in Tarrant County, Texas. That's Fort Worth. The full terms of service can be found here, and he's got the link. As Washington Post recently reported on X's decision to change the terms, it ensures that such lawsuits will be heard in courthouses that are a hub for conservatives. So he's saying Fort Worth is a conservative town. Maybe. Which experts say could make it easier for X to shield itself from litigation and punish critics. I think that speaks for itself. So then he's got the other places where you can go find him. Now, let me just say, what he's saying there is he wants to make sure that he's on a platform where free speech isn't defended. So in other words, if he wants to be able to float anything out there that he wants to say with no fear of consequences. So he can provide the disinformation and the misinformation without any fear of consequences or being held accountable by anybody that he deems might be leaning on the conservative side judicially. So he doesn't want any conservative justice to come along. Now, Royce, I don't know about you, but I've had to live with the damn fact checkers for these years. Every time I put something out there, I mean, I got banned for 30 days for posting a picture of a black woman with a shotgun and referring to her as Harriet Tubman. And they kicked me off the platform for like 30 days. I had to appeal the damn thing. And I'm going, really? I've had to put up with the fact checkers that are lefty lunatics. And I've had no recourse of action for fighting back against that. So Don Lemon is basically saying on X, he wants to have free speech and transparency as long as he can say whatever he wants to say without anybody ever questioning that. So again, Don, if you don't want to play by the rules, get out. We've had to play by your rules. Dude, I'll tell you this, Royce, you don't know this, but I used to have politicalcowboy.com. Politicalcowboy.com was my news blog site, and we had 750,000 unique visitors on that website every single day. It was quite lucrative for me, okay? When you got 750,000 people visiting your news site every day, it's pretty good. On January 27th, 2017, just a week after the inauguration of Donald Trump, they started spouting the Russian collusion and how Russia was buying Facebook ads to affect the election, Cambridge Analytica, all these different things. If you go back, those years to when Donald Trump was inaugurated, 2017, overnight on January 27th, my site, politicalcowboy.com, went from 750,000 unique visitors a day to 3,500. Wow. We lost 750,000 unique visitors because they censored everything that was, because people went to it because of Facebook. We'd post the headline and people would click on it and they would go over there. And Facebook used to let you do that. And then they took all that away. Since then, and it's been difficult. People say, I miss those truck videos you used to do. Well, yeah, I still do them, but you can't see them because we're so damn censored. But I'm not leaving the platform over it. I get accused of, if I open up my Instagram right now, has 580,000 followers on it. I am reaching 31 million unique accounts every single month. That's huge, by the way, 31 million unique accounts on Instagram. Thank you for following me at Watch Chad. But I can show you 20 so-called violations of community standards, which keeps me consistently under a warning label for any monetization or any ability to put anything out there that they can monetize. Because, again, these liberal fact checkers out there come along with their little hurt feelings. So, yeah, Don, I hope get the hell off the site, dude. But you don't have to put out a written statement about it. Welcome to our world, dude. And again, it hasn't even happened to him. This has actually happened to me. This has happened to other influencers, but it hasn't happened to, this hasn't actually happened to Don. But he's getting off like this is a preemptive strike on his part, and even puts a letter out there for the whole thing. Insane.
And a video. He put multiple things out there. That's the real issue. A letter and a video and a post. And he put it on all of his other social medias. Then announced that he's on Blue Sky. Like, the heck is even that?
I don't even know what Blue Sky is. God, I don't need to be on anything else. I don't even want to go look and see what the hell Blue Sky is. I mean, what? Anyway, blue. It's got the word blue in it. I don't want to be in it. Okay.
True.
How about that? I can almost guess what it is. I can almost guess.
It's a Twitter 3.0. Is what it is.
Well, I have no part in that. Anyway, so let them leave. What's her name? The little Hispanic actress, the little hottie. She's left the country. Oh, dadgummit, what's her name? I can see her and I can't call her name. Doesn't matter. But different ones are loading up. They said they're leaving. I don't even.
I heard Tom Hanks too. I don't know if that's true, but I heard that he was leaving.
The Whoopi, she said on The View yesterday that she has to keep working because she's only got $60 million. Well, she only has $60 million, but she made the comment. She's got $60 million, but she said, I have to work like everybody else. I wouldn't be at this job if I had all the money I needed. You're worth $60 million. It just shows you how out of touch all of these people are. They don't care about what the price of Land O'Lakes butter is. And the reason we looked up Land O'Lakes is because Morning Joe and Mika Brzezinski, they were talking about the price of butter, and Mika corrected Joe and said, no, it's $7. He goes, what is it? Is it framed in gold? Exactly. You people don't have a clue what this stuff costs. Y'all don't know what the price of eggs is or what milk costs. So, screw them. They're out of touch with reality. Stop listening to these people. Let them go. I saw an interesting thing where MSNBC mentioned that they may have to sell. Jeremy Boring, who owns Daily Wire, said, should I buy it? I'm like, okay, let's go. Buy that sucker.
Yes.
Conservative independent media, I just know I can't tell their business, but I can tell you, pay attention. Conservative independent media is doing some moving and shaking. There's some coming together. I just want some of the crumbs, Royce. I just want some of the freaking crumbs, dude. Here we are, just little independent us, piping into people's YouTube and Rumble, doing our thing. We don't even have a secret handshake, bro.
Or we should make it somehow a stream handshake.
Some kind of little phallic deal. Of
No, I'm out now. I'm out.
Some little
phallic,
Klingon.
I backed out.
Some little Klingon thing, Oh my gosh. Okay, in the land of crazy stories, let's do this before we get out of here. I would love for somebody to tell me what the hell is going on in the Australian Parliament. The Maori people apparently protested some legislation that was going on. This is New Zealand, and suddenly, I don't know if the demons manifested or what, but this is a weird way to protest. Play this. Whoa. There it is. Here they all go. Well, she stirred them up. For those of you who are listening, they got secret handshakes, I guarantee you. They're dancing on the Parliament gallery floor. Wow. Yeah, they all know the dance moves, too. 'Cause this is Thriller.
I think we should do this.
And then they're done. And then
in Congress. Just break out into song and dance.
Wow, bro. Yeah, I mean, that was like, they were like, you know what? We're not having it. She ripped up the piece of paper, and then every one of them, buddy, when she shouted out that little battle cry, I expected them like to just strip down to nothing but loincloths there for a second and start, blowing in one of those didgeridoos and doing that thing that they spin around standing on the cliff with their little peanut, Like, what is going on in Australia? Was that New Zealand?
Yeah, that was bizarre.
New Zealand? Was that New Zealand?
Yeah,
or
New
Australia?
Zealand.
It was New Zealand. Okay, my apologies, because these people get upset if you screw up the Aussies with the Kiwis, man. They literally come after you. So this was New Zealand, and they were not having it. Yeah, I'm down with that. We should do some of that. All right, Royce, what's going on, brother? Let's see. Tomorrow is Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what, folks? Tomorrow you can still enjoy your weekend. You can be free. You can trust that Donald Trump is probably not going to come for you if you have sex out of wedlock or something like that. You probably shouldn't, but like Donald Trump's not going to come get you.
Probably, yeah. As long as you're not smuggling $31 million worth of meth over the Texas border, I think you're safe.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
We're not living in a theocracy yet, but God is still in control and Jesus is Lord. But Donald Trump is probably not going to come get you because you drink and drive. The police, the local police will, but Donald Trump probably will not be the one who does it. the all-seeing eye of Donald Trump and his phallic handshake. You don't have to worry about that. So just relax, folks. It's okay. These appointments, I've got my popcorn popped. I am sitting back watching what's going on. This is going to be a roller coaster ride. I'm here for it. This is like the draft picks of the NFL. I can't wait to see who's coming next. I mean, like when he names Ben Carson the Secretary of Health and Human Services, which I'm sure he will do, it'll be like, okay, big deal, whoopee-doo. But who knows? Who knows?
But when he names Alex Jones press secretary,
yeah, that would
then we're back in the game.
Then it's back at it. I mean, then you got Alex Jones ripping his shirt off. Going, listen, the Tricoms are going to come and they're going to get every one of us. So listen, let me tell you something. All of you back there in the back, ABC and NBC and CNN, you got to get out of here because they're going to come get you. Yeah. And you know what? Our prayers for our friend Dennis Prager at PragerU. Dennis had a fall. I don't know all the details, but he had a fall, hurt his back. He's going to be in the hospital for a number of days. Serious injury. Don't know the full ramifications and consequences of that, but Dennis is a dear man and a friend, and we're praying for him, and just pray for voices and wisdom to be the voices of wisdom to win out in the day. I think about that because Dennis has been a true voice of wisdom. There's so many people out there who do stand for freedom, stand for everything that we value as conservative Americans. As Americans, we don't even have to qualify it as conservative Americans. We're just Americans who happen to be conservatives. So I want to be careful how I do that because I'm tired of drawing the battle lines. I really am, man. It's just America. I love our Constitution. I love our freedoms. I love our values. I love where we came from. I love our history. And, you think about it, if you think about how much the media has lied to us just in recent days about elections and everything else, think about how much everybody's lied to us about our history. Dig into it, man. Dig into it. Royce, what you got going on? You got anything happening big this weekend? Anything you need to promote? Anything you need to announce? Are you just chilling and laying low? What's going on with you?
I'm just chilling. I'll be posting on my X if you want to follow me there, Royce Chamberlain. I'll take the opportunity. Other than that, pretty chill weekend. Pretty chill.
Get after it. At Royce Chamberlain, go follow him over there. Let me have the screen. I'll say goodbye to everybody. Royce, I appreciate you. Talk to you in a minute. Folks, for the rest of you out there, I do want you to breathe deeply. I want you just to chill a little bit and just know that God's in control no matter what. And I think we are going to see some things return to us that we thought were lost forever. I'm so thankful that Donald Trump has been through what he's been through. I hate that the man has had to sacrifice so much and experience so many trials, but man, it's turned him into somebody that we didn't know 4 years ago, and I'm here for it. So I'm excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun if you'll sit back and watch. Don't let fear rule the day, but keep your head on a swivel and take care of yourself. Man, I appreciate y'all so much. And I will tell you, don't drop your guard. Stay prepared, whether it's preparing with food and water and your ability to make fire and just, generators. Take care of yourself because you never know. You never know what's coming. It could be a natural disaster. It could be anything. But make sure you're looking out for each other. Take care of your neighbors. Love each other as hard as you can, as much as you can. And help me, please help me. Go over to watchchad.com where the fun stuff is. If you get an opportunity to come to a live show, come to it. Fort Worth this weekend, Oklahoma City next weekend, headed to Florida later on. We got a few things coming up. Be in Spring, Texas on December 7th, Cuero, Texas on December 6th. But just, watchchad.com. If you go to the podcast link in the menu, the podcast, the audios are right there. Just click on them, play them. It helps our numbers. Trust me, it helps them. Let them play in the background, listen to them. And today was fun. I had fun with you guys. I have no idea if anything I said whatsoever made any sense because I'm operating on about 4 hours of sleep and I had to deal with the airplane and the airport and all the crazy stuff. But go over to prathertees.com. We have our new shirt out. It is Make America Pray Again. Make America Pray Again. Today was day 40. Day 40 of our prayers, Make America Pray Again. Somebody said, you can't make somebody pray. I said, no, this shirt is the prayer. I want God to make America pray again. God has the ability to make us pray, and I want us to do that. I want us to join together. We're still praying for our country. We're praying for ourselves, praying for just life in general, man. And today was day 40 over on X as well as on Facebook. But if you get a chance, pick up a new shirt. We'll get it sent to you. And if you bought your garbage tees, the garbage tees are out for delivery. They are out for delivery. We had a last minute run on those. We had to get the print, and then the UPS truck did not deliver the shirts, the blank shirts for us to print them, but they are on the way. I promise you. You should get them any moment now. Wear them with pride. In the meantime, I love you. I'm praying for you. I appreciate you. Thank you for all that you do. Leave us a 5-star rating and a review wherever podcasts are offered, and have a fantastic weekend if I don't see you between now and then. But I got a feeling I'll post some stuff up. I love you. Talk to you later. Bye.